Good afternoon, Mr. Jarrett.
Hmm.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Campbell.
Yes, so we're here as a part of this project, the Forgotten Generations. And I'd like to introduce you as Mr. Albert Jarrett, age 97,
Yes,
World War II veteran, Royal Air Force.
of course.
How are you today, sir?
How are you today?
I was a bit down last night, Dan, but I seem to be picking up now.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Well, we're going to be here for a little while, probably maybe an hour. So we see how it goes. You let me know how you feel if you want to carry on and continue. So we're going to start with the first question, Mr. J. I call him Mr. J, if that's okay. Where were you born, sir? What town and country?
I was born in Jamaica, in Hanover, in Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
Yeah,
And-
that's about 9 miles from Montego Bay.
Okay. And what age did you join the Royal Air Force?
That was 1942. So, 1942, yes.
Yes. And how old were you then?
I was just about getting to my 18 and so on. Yeah.
18. And why did you join the military?
No, there was a long, there is a long story to this. And the story is that growing up in the country and quite protected by my parents, I didn't get I didn't have enough. I didn't think I had the privilege to do what I like because my dad, who works abroad as an engineer, and had uh, was quite strict on what I do because and I had my sisters them in Jamaica and they seemed to be very they were their girls were seemed to be too proud and everything that I have done. I, my father know everything. Even though he's not in Jamaica, he's a engineer in Panama and the deep water engineer. My sister would let my father know everything and he's always on to me. And when he couldn't take no more, it was his decide to take me from Jamaica and let me stay in Panama while he's there after he finished my schooling. But I just finished my nurse schooling and decided to go on further education when these things happen. Then this is what happened then. As a young person, and you start find girlfriend and things like that. I'm going to tell you the very, very truth about this now. My girlfriend and my sisters, they do in the advanced education and do lessons in the evening. You know what it was in Jamaica. Well, and they talk about it because my sisters and were so proud. They didn't see much to have to do with my girlfriend. No matter who I friendly with, they didn't see because they were too proud of them in themselves. In any case, and they keep telling, I don't know if I'm to say that they were telling lies on me or what, but there is some, but they never leave me out. They always, every single thing I do, and every footstep I made in Jamaica, my father in Panama know. and he was getting onto me and while he's getting onto me, it was getting to my but nerves or brain. I just couldn't take no more. And I tell you then, I walked down the road one day and I met my very good friend. And I, and he said something to me and I said, "Where are you going now, Tim?" And he said, "You don't know what happened." He said, "They are recruiting people for the Air Force today." And he's going there. I said, "We've been recruited." And he said, "Do you want to come with me?" I said, "Yes, man." And it's make a language, Yes, man. And I went a month ago, and I took the test, and I passed. I passed the test because I was a young, healthy young one, and that was the best thing I ever had in my life, because
Wow.
it was all been set up because I was on my nearly the only thing that was there for me to get from my father, because I was coming down to take me, is the passport. I didn't finish that, but I took the paper to the JP so on, and he already signed it up to send up my passport. So all that I never finished doing, because I clear out before my dad get to Jamaica to put his hand on me. And
Oh,
that was it.
wow, wow. That's quite a story. So you joined the RAF, and then you went to do some training.
You joined the RAF and you went to do some training.
Oh yes, yes. Oh,
What was that like?
yeah, we joined the RF, and I was at Palisades for nearly a year
Okay.
training. Because during them time, they couldn't ships could move about as they like, you realize, on the seas, on the high seas, because they were the German torpedoes them were so much out. And after a while, after spending quite a long while in Jamaica in the armed force at
Mm.
Palisades, then there came the day that we were to repatriate it to England. And there come the day that we have to go, that is, they find vacant as an opportunity to take all the recruited servicemen from the Caribbean over to England. And I tell you something, we boarded that ship, and let me tell you, Dan, the convoy was so big. In when we were the boat, the ship I was in was somewhere in the middle. But when out in the sea, when we were coming to England, I can't remember. The convoy was so big. Everywhere you look around, there is ship, because that
Right.
was how that was how we.
Wow. So how aware were you that there was a war going on? And did you know it was a world war?
Yes, it was a World War.
And were you very much aware that it was a world war? World
Huh?
war. How aware were you that it was a world war? Was
Oh,
it very
well,
obvious?
Aware,
um, I tell you something. In the West Indies, we knew in the West Indies that a war was going on. But that's all the people in the island knew, because as a young person with me, like myself, if it wasn't for it that I want to get away from my father, I wouldn't have much to think about a war. But I had what I was thinking about is escaping.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was good. It was one of the best. That was one of the best day in my life when I met my friend, and he said to me, he's going to town because they are recruiting people today for the Air Force. They want to come with me, and he was one of my very very good friends, really. And I said, yes, let's go.
So were you conscious that you may have to go into battle in a war, or were you just excited to get away?
You know, we're going to battle.
Mm.
You know what's happened? We never, as a young person, them days, we never had any. I never think that. I never think that we could lose our life or anything because this is a war. I never think of it that way. We
Wow.
all that I wanted was to get rid of my dad.
Okay. What was it like
Huh?
traveling? What was it like traveling on the ship from Jamaica to England?
Yes. Uh, um. I tell you something. It was to remember it. You would what I can remember. You could be sitting beside the next person beside you and having your meal, and the next thing you could remember, he just come up with, oh, right? It's on the seasick. Right?
All right.
Yeah.
So,
But then when we came to England now, um, um, we were transferred to we were sent to this training camp. I went to Melsham in Wiltshire.
okay.
Yeah, I
Uh,
went to Melsham in Wiltshire.
and that was to
Some
complete you.
some went to Filey.
Okay.
Some went to because there were quite a few hundreds of us came on that troop ship.
Okay. How long did you serve at Melksham then?
Huh?
How long was your training at Melksham?
I don't remember the length. I don't remember the length of time, how many months. But we spent not. It wasn't a very very extra long time.
Hmm.
We were there as training. But I had to stop on the I was left on the stop after many like the people on the different friends and so on that I traveled with on the board after they've been transferred to sent to different camp. I was left at the and at the training camp for one specific reason. I was very good at the shooting done.
Oh, you were a sharpshooter.
Yes, I was very good, and I was at the train for helping new recruit on the ranch.
Wow.
Yes, we used to go on the ranch, you see, and it was just a help to show them like how to handle the rifle or how to stick it. But when at that age, I could shoot a pinhead and a pinhead. And
Really?
yeah, and then realized, and that was why I was kept on the camp for the new recruit, only for the ranch, on the ranch.
Okay. So, how did you fit in the military regime? Did you find it quite easily to fit in as a military person?
How did I find myself?
How do you fit in? Did you fit in all quite easily in the military regime?
Yeah, it was quite good, but when you think of it as a young person, them days, a young person, somebody just in like 19, 20, April 21, you're in uniform, and yet we know the war was in a raging state. The Germans are doing so many bombing in England and thing. But you never really stop to be. I don't know if they put us that way, but we never stop to get scared of anything or so on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you left a very nice warm Jamaica, right? I don't know what month of the year you came here, but you left Jamaica nice and warm. How did you cope with the climate change?
How did I come with
The
this?
climate change. Climate change.
Which it I tell you something. When we got here, when we, and the first morning when I looked, I could remember before we embarked from the ship, disembarked, I looked outside. I didn't mind if the ship was turning back because it wasn't very warm. I don't know, but but like everyone else, you know, young people, because everyone that was on the ship that joined the force was all young people. It
Really?
was hard. You would hardly find anyone at the age over 30 or so on. We were all young people, and so it was we were so good-hearted and think, oh well, we are in England now, and
Okay. Right. So you trained at Melksham, and then where did you go from Melksham? Were you posted away from Melksham? Where did you go to?
I went to Sutton Coldfield at a
Okay.
maintenance unit.
All right.
Um, and when I went to the maintenance unit, the first thing I started there was to learn to drive.
Okay.
So I was with the transport section as well now, you see.
Okay.
And this transport section is work every day done. And we go to different camp. We go to place and pick up this and all. Because them lorries, have work. Them big lorries, you know how many gears in them?
No.
You don't have them today. Lorry with gears and all them there. Yeah, and most of them lorries and crash box. You know what a crash box vehicle is like? You never drive
An
one.
idea.
You never drive a crash box gear
No,
vehicle.
no.
Oh well. And them lorry and anyhow, that didn't make make much of endurance in our way. We were quite happy about it that we were doing our time.
So you were responsible for transporting logistics, taking equipment all around for
I was
support of
in
the
the
front line.
transport system.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was very important because you were taking goods and equipment to the front line, yes, to make sure the aircraft keep flying.
I didn't get that.
I said that was very important to be taking equipment around to make sure they're in the right places.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Don't forget now, there is Sentry Point everywhere you turn in England during that time. I used to go on sentry duty as well, don't forget.
Okay.
Yeah, I would, even in the cold winter with my flipping rifle on my shoulder, walking along the fence line them inside. And you know what happened? Yeah, once on sentry that I almost killed someone.
Really?
Yeah, one. It's only happened to me one. But good job. He just because I was on duty and it was around somewhere about 1 o'clock the night. I just realized that someone was coming though. And when I tell him to stop, halt and stop there, then he was very kind and tell me, he was only having a walk because I have not, if he had moved possibly, I would have shot him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess at that time in the morning, such early hours, you just don't know who is going to approach you, do you?
Who's gonna do what?
Who is gonna
Approach you at that
you?
time of the morning when you're in sentry. You don't know.
Yeah, you got it was a matter of just you're doing a duty and you got to be sincere in those days. In those days done. I don't know about the peacetime service, but like during the war days, like me, you got to be sincere and you got to be positive in what you're doing. Because if you if you do not use the rifle and someone is gonna use it on you, like you
Yeah,
understand me, it is
I,
war. Yeah.
I do understand that. It's a matter
And
of kill or be
I
killed.
can remember that I think my detention camp, I couldn't remember where it was from, but I think it was somewhere near into Melsham. Because somewhere down Evesham, not
If
Melsham. I
okay,
think it's
Evesham.
somewhere near Evesham was the detention where I used to keep sentry duty. But every so
Wow.
often I used to go on sentry. And it's not a nice thing in the year when it's cold out there and you walking around that wire fence with the rifle on your shoulder.
So what was it like in terms of the actual war going on then with the England being bombed and all that sort of thing? What's the experience of that?
Um, that I could remember seeing I know enough so many places bombing around here like Coventry and all. Coventry was Coventry was one of the. I don't know if the German did like that place or what I disliked it, but Coventry was one of the spots that you. And even in Birmingham, the occasional, we had we had a bomb drop very near to our camp one time.
Oh,
I think on this very day you might find the crater there, but it hasn't done any damage to no building because it didn't hit no building. We were on camp. It happened the night, but Fortunately, it didn't drop right in the compound. It was just on the outside and it left the crater, but no damage. It hasn't done no damage. But that was only to make you realize what could have happened. And the thing about it, as I swore them days, you never, you don't bother, you ain't got no fear, and you ain't got time to stop to think about if you're gonna do it. If they call you and you're gonna go out there and say take a rifle, if don't forget again, Dan, if the war have continued longer, I would have possibly able to tell you more because what happened. I'm sure they would have. I would have possible on the front line if the war have continued.
Oh, right.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
it's quite possible. I would have
Yeah.
been on the front line as well, but I wasn't on the front line.
So what was your best and worst experience then during that period of time of war?
Uh, um, my experience during the time, um, to be frank, we know people were dying from in England here from different bombs. But we never tell you the truth. I never really think that I would have gone to the front line. That was my experience. And if it had come to the crisis, and if the war had lasted any longer, I think it would be just my pleasure going to the front line as well. But the thing about it, I know, doing that is either you got to kill or someone got to kill you. So
Okay.
that was what I experienced and see in this last war because I wasn't it. If it did come to that case, either you have to kill or someone gonna kill you. But luckily it came that the war finished 1945 and it didn't get no further.
Wow. So what was it like when the war ended then for you?
That was a jubilation, man. Can't forget that. That was one of the biggest jubilation, man. The camp down, the camp, I can't remember the camp gate was flung open and our DSO, he said, go and enjoy this and that. So every year, man, who wants to go, go. We didn't have to ask for pass. We go and enjoy. We said, done. That was that day, that night. It was one of the, it was a memorial to, that was a great day, man. When we hear the war was over.
Oh,
We said,
fantastic.
you wouldn't understand how happy we was. And we say at that time, you wouldn't understand. Somebody broke them, they went into town like, and you have to lift them up and bear them up with a drum. But I wouldn't tell you about alcohol, so I was out enjoying myself. I can't remember, I was in the public quite a lot, and it was actually a lot, a handful of people in there. People from my camp and so on and other camp near there. But let me tell you, when the day when the war was over, there is no other day like that. It was such a great day, and the jubilation, the happiness in us. This and the trouble about it, we were so well mixed with the people of this country, even when we were of different race and different color. Nobody, nobody know you. White people never think of you as whether you are black or white. We were just one people during them time. Things
Wow.
changes after the war.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So after the war then ended, you were demobbed. You went back to Jamaica, I believe. Did you?
Yes, I could have had my demob here. Stop. I could have stopped and have my demob here, but I didn't want to stop. So
Okay.
I went back to Jamaica.
Okay. And when you went back to Jamaica, did you meet up with your daddy again or what? Or
You do what?
Did you meet up with your father when you went back to Jamaica?
My father still working as an engineer.
Okay.
He was in Panama, and I didn't get to see him
Okay.
because he don't come. I didn't for the time that I was in Jamaica. I think it's only about one time or two times come back. So I didn't get to spend time with them. You understand me?
Oh yes.
And
Okay.
then, luckily, you know what happened? I went to Jamaica and I couldn't believe it. They start to give land to people who do their service in the war. And they gave me 7 acre land.
Did they really?
Yes, but let me tell you something. I grew up and I never stick a fork in the ground when I was growing up. And then when you know what happened? I sell the land immediately. They gave it to me to a coolie man named Studio.
Studio.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
right.
sold it and then I sold it because I didn't need. I don't know why they gave it to me because even when I was growing up, I never go to the. I know my people them plant. You're in Jamaica where you say they plant drums, don't they?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
they go. But I don't go in the bush with them.
But it was a promise, right? It was a promise from the government that they would give you some land. So I guess that you just give it to anybody, regardless of how you felt.
Everybody, yeah, they give them all so much land, you see, and things like that. But I didn't need it. And
Okay.
anyhow,
Where was this land that you were given?
it was given to me at a place named Oxenage in Hanover.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't want it. So in any case, it was coming up nearer to election in Jamaica when I was there, and my auntie husband was one of the staunch inchman for one of the candidates for the election.
Okay.
He was a Labour man named Malcolm, and true, I was quite prominent in the era that I live. You understand me?
Yes.
Everybody know me now. I was Mr. Malcolm want to get all that he want, all the vote that he can. And my uncle-in-law recommend me to him. And that was a start for me, you see. When
Okay.
yeah, because he used to send money down and I used to get money and like buy drinks to the men them young men them and so on that they had when election they vote for Mr. Malcolm and so on. So I was doing well in that part at the time.
So you were quite a popular young man.
Oh yes, I was. Not even with the women I was terrible popular. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. So listen, Mr. J, I see you wearing a medal there.
Huh?
You're wearing a medal. You're proudly wearing a medal on your chest, a medal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe that you received that medal somewhat not long ago, 75 years after the war.
Yes. This is a medal. This is from my service.
Yeah.
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 And here's another one. It is a medal.
Okay.
This is a medal as well.
Okay, so you've got two medals.
Yes. I got
So
two.
So those medals are for service in World War II.
In World War II. Yeah,
But for some,
these are from World War II. These are my representative that I'm a veteran.
The veteran, a very proud veteran. And
Yeah.
I believe that your medal, for some reason, you didn't have it, and you got presented with it after 75 years.
Yes, because you know, I remember. I think I remember I had one medal, but I tell you the truth about it. I don't know. I never bother think what happened to them. I never wear them. I wear that also. No, but when we started here the other day, that was when I think Well, I can't tell you, it was best for me to have it like when we go
Yeah.
out. That was why I asked for this to be replaced. You see.
Yeah, brilliant, excellent. Because I mean, it's very representative when you see an elderly gentleman like yourself, a senior citizen, you know, with a medal on your chest. Straight away, it speaks volume. You know, it says a lot.
I don't know. I never look at it that way. I never even think of wearing it before. I
Yeah.
never really, I don't know. And that was first, that was really my interest, like wearing a medal and things like that. But
Mm.
like now, getting to involved in this now, and when you go out and so on, I see everybody with one stick on their chest. So it's
Very
all right.
important. Yeah.
So it's all right me having one stick on
Yes,
my
yes,
chest
yes.
as
More than
well.
all right. Because you get around, don't you? I mean, you've been on radio, you've been on TV, you've been in the newspaper, and you've met some dignitaries. Tell me some of the dignitaries that you've met.
Um, when you mean people like the prince?
Yes, I
Yes.
believe it.
I've, met Prince Charles. I have a good chat with Prince William, and I have a good chat with Prince Charles' wife. And I met a lot of top RF people.
And also, I believe you met the current Prime Minister, Mr. Boris Johnson.
But yes, I had a good chat with Boris Johnson, and I tried to remind him of the past and our days. Yes, I can't remember. There was something I said to him that should have taken place after. I don't even remember what it was now. Yes, but I had a good chat with Boris Johnson.
And would you like to see the government honor and recognize Caribbean servicemen and women for their contributions to Britain?
But well, that should have been a must. But I don't know if this country are taking it to be that way. I don't know because the thing about it, when I came here in 1942, I was well accepted. But I could tell you many. When I went back to Jamaica for a short while, and when I came back here, it was different. I wasn't so much accepted. And even not this very today, black people are the blacks are here. We are living here, but not so much accepted by the people, the country here. And don't forget that many of us had divorce service to this country, people like myself, and never been recognized for what we have done before. We
Wow.
never,
How do you feel about that?
huh?
How do you feel about that? The fact that you've given your service to Britain
Um,
and you've not been recognized. How do you
how,
feel?
how do I feel about that?
Hmm.
The trouble about the thing about that, the thing about it, Dan, you ain't gonna feel good about that. But what can you do?
Okay.
You must have good organization to
Mhm.
to make an eye because a single voice won't be heard.
Okay. Okay. So during your time in Britain then and your experience, what advice would you have to give to a young person coming up now?
Well, discipline are the number one. If they discipline themselves, if follow the advice of their parents, try to be a disciplinary person. Listen, me man, when you have a kid, a disciplinary person, a young man or a young woman growing up, you can't find a better person than them. I'm not to be too much brawling and outrage and outlaw. No,
Mm.
you don't. No, I'm glad today. I had a few kids, and you know what? I think I'm one of the luckiest man that have children. My children them are all disciplinary. None of them have any bad behavior. My children, and
Excellent.
and my grandchildren them. I'm so proud of them now. because they make me feel bad the way they none of them ever involved in nothing that is wrong or hurt or harder than. Even
Excellent.
drugs, even drugs. I'm so pleased that none of my grandchildren them in my children them never indulge in such a thing. I never believe in drugs. I'm gonna tell you the truth. This may be why I live so long. I was a very good drinker of marijuana tea, ganja tea.
Really?
Man, I think that is good. I drink, but I never put it to my mouth and smoke it. Never.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
but I was a very good. I would have paid him money for to get it to make tea. And I
Okay.
believe you, I had many friends that smoke it down. And I met them and I never one day put it to my mouth.
That's
So,
good. So
yeah.
you were a shining example to your children then, really, the life you led.
Huh?
You were a shining example to all your children and grandchildren then, really.
Of course, of
Excellent.
course.
Excellent.
None
Excellent.
of my children, and today none of my grandchildren ever touch anything like those things, the drugs. None.
Okay.
I didn't, and they don't. And I'm so pleased about that.
It's absolutely fantastic to talk to you about your service in the armed forces. In your particular case, the Royal Air Force. Would you recommend the forces to anybody that has that inclination?
Oh yes, oh yes. Don't forget, for all that we may go, and for all that may happen, to serve in this country wasn't a bad idea. Because if it, yeah, people got to live by the rules or by the law, whatever it is, and and this was the country as they said, the mother country to our little island.
Mhm.
So we may not get the standards of benefit that we wanted from this country, but don't forget, we still have to show some appreciation for what some of what they have done. You understand? It's not everything bad have been done. I remember some time ago there is this governor for one of them states, Wallace in America, and he said all that is wrong that is happened to a black person started in England. That Governor Wallace said that. That was one of, I think he was the governor in California, I don't remember which state. And he was one of the biggest haters or hatred for black people. And then he himself confessed that he was wrong. Wallace, the American state governor, and in his later days, it was a black man who pushed him around in his wheelchair.
Wow.
He didn't deal with white people because he said he was being washed. Today, the same thing has been happening, you understand me, right in America. Today, and I tell you, it is here, right here. We seen it here every day in this country, but they don't. It's under been covered here under what you call it here. But
Institutionalized.
yeah,
Yes.
that's what.
Institutionalized,
Yeah,
maybe.
but it is alive in this country today, right here now. But this in a diplomatic way, how they do it here is not. It's like America. They didn't. It isn't as though it has been done in America, where the Lord has said, Mr. Trump, to expose the country and its what you call it system toward the other race of people,
Mm,
black people.
mm.
Let me tell you something. Trump came here as and was made a president, not of his own will. He wanted to, but you let me tell you that is a fulfillment.
Right,
Mr.
right,
Trump is
right.
yeah.
So you're saying there's a lot of covert and institutionalized racism here in this country, and it is here as bad as America in one sense, but it's not as visible. Is that what you're saying?
It's not as it is as bad as America, but it's they use it. There's so much cover up for it here where they use it. You understand me? Right?
Okay.
Yeah, right now, but not America. Don't forget, in America, don't forget, right in America, not in the killing of George Floyd. And George Floyd is not the only person where the policemen shooting black people in America actually every single day of the year. If you stop and think, why is it that this one man now caused so much of attention? God work, let me tell you. And this is where the changes started. We were the wicked race, the black, and everything was taken from us. And now the ruling, the white became which were the minority then before. Take it all over. And whatever happened now, they do not want you. They never, like in America, they're in different parties. I don't know if you ever notice it. Like in the same Republican Party, they will give a person a high position. But the thing about it, there are certain standards to where he can go, even though he has that high position. You understand me?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I tell
Yes.
you something. The same thing happening in England in a diplomatic way. You hear me?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Here. But
Okay.
it isn't hard. Time is gonna change because it is said somewhere in the Bible. I don't know where it said that the time will come when even the babe and suckling will know what is taking place. And it is moving right now.
Excellent.
You know,
Excellent. Listen,
you know
really
what?
thank you very much for that, because
Yeah, I don't cut you. I tell you why if you should stop and look, you have children here. And none of your children won't take what we have taken from the people here. People meet and said things here. Your children ain't gonna take it now.
okay, I understand that.
What we take, you understand me? Yes, and secondly again, we have, like myself, I have one so proud of my grandchildren, because when I went to Oxford and the graduation of my grandson, and I spoke to his tutor, and he said, "You see this kid, anything he wants in the world, anything. He's so good at anything he wants." That's a
He was
man.
very bright.
Yeah,
Very bright.
yeah.
He was very bright.
Yes, that's what the lecturer told me. And well, he left Oxford with on a high standard of marks, you see.
The highest.
Yeah, before we went to Cambridge. You understand
Wow.
me?
Yes.
So them kids, we're glad we have them. And there's others like my own. There are many more like my own. And the thing that you and I put up with, them ain't gonna put up with here. Yeah?
I understand what you're saying. Fully understand what you're saying. So we're looking at the future then and saying that these youngsters will make it better for us.
Of course,
Yes.
it will be.
Going forward.
You take for instance now, a black man, immunization, is the chancellor of the exchequer. That could happen one time in England.
I understand that. I understand that.
I'm gonna show you how the thing is going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look how many years it take America to have a black president. And now they got a black vice president. You see how the things is moving?
Yeah, so we also now need to look at the military side of things and get some black people in up the ranks in the military as well then.
Yeah, because look at Powell. You ever consider, look at Powell. the standard he was as a military man in America.
Very top, the very top.
Yes, Powell could have been the president of America if he wanted to, as I understand.
Yes,
But his
yes, yes.
wife one didn't want him to go for the position because these are people that with the knowledge that no matter how the White House would try to, they just couldn't keep them down. They can't keep them down, you know.
So what you're saying then, as going forward, if you are a very positive person and you've got aims and ambition, you should stick to your aims and ambition because you can get there.
Yes, you should stick to your ambition.
Yeah,
And that's right. But I'll tell you, you and I won't, and you may not live to see the day, but there's gonna be a change.
yes,
Right here, because the races, them that are the people that growing up here. Don't be surprised the day when it comes. It may say a black man is a prime minister.
excellent. Listen, Mr. J,
I won't be surprised.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got to say, your knowledge, understanding, and memory has been fantastic. And the day I met you and your good lady was just a joy for me to meet you both,
Yeah.
right? Because you, I say, and I say to a lot of people, you are a jewel in our crown.
Yeah.
As a veteran of years gone by, it's just such a pleasure to be able to share life with you. It's fantastic. So I want to say thank you very, very much for
Thank
your
you very much.
service.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much. Because you are the one who helped me to get this far in it. You understand me? The day when I met you, seemed to be a different day before. Yeah.
And I want to thank you very much to your good lady, Mrs. Shirley Jarrett, as well, because, you know, it's been fantastic traveling around the country with you both and showing you off, you know.
Yeah.
It's excellent. So,
That was
you know,
very good. That was very good. Yeah.
and I want to thank you for today, for this interview as a part of this project. And again, I repeat, the project is called The Forgotten Generations. So this recording, I'm hoping to make sure that people see this recording, yeah, and be able to say and listen to what you've had to say.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to thank you very much again.
And this me done, I'm 100% here behind anything that is good and reasonable for my people and my color. And I hope we're able to move this forward.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we're going to end the meeting now, and then we'll catch up another time. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah,
Okay,
bye-bye.
then. Thank you very much.